Yep, OBS didn't record the last mission. Doesn't matter. I fought an HC. Balaam continues to talk to me despite me kicking them into the ground every time we meet. Ring Freddy kicked my ass a bunch. That's about it. It's not worth redoing on camera, I don't think.
This is a personal request from a friend. We still don't have enough data to pin down where the coral is gathering in the ice field. According to my friend's sources, we could find some clues here. Xylem, a city floating on the ocean built by the Rubicon Research Institute. Ever since the fires, that place has been abandoned. It's likely hiding secrets about the coral, kept shrouded by the city's ECM fog. My friend's already tried sending in a survey drone, only to lose it in the interference. That's where you come in. I want you to disable the ECM fog generators so that we can resume the survey. Right now, the corporations are preoccupied with the PCA. We can be the first ones to identify where the coral is converging. The ECM fog is going to interfere with comm until it's disabled. Follow the beacons left with the survey drone.
Main system activating combat mode.
Raven, the ECM won't interfere with our contact. But it is affecting your lock-on range. Keep an eye on your surroundings.
I do wish there was an actual radar in this game, at the very least just so I could know where the boundaries of the freaking map are. This definitely is not my favorite Armored Core HUD, that's for sure. In the original Armored Core games, your HUD changed depending on what parts you had, and you could also
This must
fucking,
be a survey drone.
what's the word I'm looking for?
I'll use markers to track
Okay,
it.
so this is the
You can
edge.
use them if you lose your way.
What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you could also modify specific elements of your HUD in the menu. Like, did you want the altimeter? Do you want how fucking fast you're going? Do you want enemy data? Do you want friendlies data? Do you want, the fucking, like, certain things to display on the fucking HUD, like missile radar and stuff? Also, I gotta say, I like optional parts way more than the chip system in this game. The chip system in Formula Front and Verdict Day was to program AI. It was not to modify your own mech's ability. Also, can I just talk about how really fucking annoying it is that the goddamn thing stops boosting the instant you stop moving forward? I really, really don't like that. I wish it would just stay with the boosters on until I fucking hit the button to turn it off. I don't know why it's like this. It's really, really annoying.
Just stood watch even after they were abandoned by their masters.
Because it just means I have to hit the button every single time I move my mech.
This is offline. Let's keep
In the other games, boosting was you would hold down the button to boost forward. I liked that a lot. Because I had pretty good control over how the fucking thing would handle. Also, my pet peeve of people fucking using the words handle and control interchangeably. Controls are what you fucking, the buttons you press to move your vehicle. How it handles is how your vehicle interacts with the environment it's in. So, like, a car might have good steering in the fact that, like, it's responsive when you turn the wheel, but it might do shit on the roads because it has a bad suspension or tires. There's another one over there.
Intrusion attempt persisting. Normalization process A.
Ah, enemies.
Can't find any data on these.
Whoa.
Sorry, Raven. We'll have
What
to
the fuck?
rely on your experience.
I don't remember this. Okay. Now where did that come from? The right side? There's another marker there. There we go. Shit. I think that got it. I wish the area got less foggy the more of these you shut down, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Yeah, that is something I have to agree with, is it's communicating with another person. It's like, this game is much, much closer range than I actually care to fucking... Because I like close range fights in Armored Core, but I also like having the option of long range. It feels like the enemies get to use sniper weapons and have long range stuff, but it's not really an option for, like, most builds. Like, what happened to quadruped sniper ACs? Like, back-mounted sniper cannons just appear not to exist in this fucking game so far. That kind of sucks. Like, ECM doesn't really have an effect because there's no radar, and it doesn't seem to fucking mess with the targeting reticle that much. Like, I feel like this game doesn't have a lot of, like, build variety that the old other games had. People would argue that some of the parts were superfluous. Yeah, it's like... But that allowed you a lot more options in how you wanted to build it. And having some superfluous parts was good because it means, like, oh, I've got this build, it works really well, and I want to use this weapon type, but I might not be able to have the heavier, better version of it, so I'll use the fucking earlier one that I got. Like... People would argue that you want everything to be a side grade in Armored Core, not a direct upgrade, because then it means you'll never go back to using the original parts. It's like, I'm using the starter rifle right now! And it's like, yeah, I do want some things to be direct upgrades, because then if I have a build that's, like, too heavy with some of the better equipment, the stuff I got earlier will actually be more viable than the new stuff then, because it fits better in what I'm currently using. It's like, it has to be a contextual upgrade. The problem here is that I'm getting new stuff, and it's not better, but it's also, like, not contextually useful either. In a lot of situations, most of the stuff doesn't seem to work very well at all, which kind of sucks.
We might be able to extract its data. Let's take a look.
Like, I miss having back-mounted parts that I had to switch to rather than just fire normally. I also miss shoulder weapons.
Fight back, Raven.
Like I've said before, also, I haven't seen any fucking weapon arms either. It's like, this game's awesome, but it feels like they've fucking... I don't want to say streamlined, because that's not correct, but it feels like they've kind of unnecessarily reduced it in a lot of areas, which kind of sucks. It's like, say what you want about fucking 5 and Verdict Day, they still had most of the stuff that I liked about the game. The levels just kind of sucked, and were pretty bare bones in areas. I understand I'm not, like, anywhere near close to done with the game, so there's still time for, like, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about to return, but some of the stuff, obviously not. And from what I've seen so far of the multiplayer, it's just fucking, like, lobby with fucking custom matches. There's no matchmaking or fucking ranked tournament stuff. The maps all seem pretty basic. There's no fucking AI arena that you can make yourself like in Silent Line. It doesn't seem like there's any big modes with like scores of people. From what I've seen, it's like, I think it's 2-on-2 and fucking 1-on-1. I haven't played any like significant amount of the multiplayer because I've been wanting to get through the story first. And also because I'm like, I don't generally like playing Armored Core games with like random people. Back when I played multiplayer in fucking 4 and 4 Answer, I would play with my friends, and the PS2 games didn't have online, so it was local. So I'd just play with my fucking siblings. And the PSP games and the emulated versions on PC, I would occasionally play with fucking randoms because that was how it worked. And then fucking 5 and Verdict Day, it was the fucking, you'd play with the fucking 4 or 5 man team, and you do like the area raids and stuff. And it was mostly PvE actually, not PvP. I don't know. I just have mixed feelings about this whole fucking arrangement. I'm glad it exists, don't get me wrong. This existing is a lot better than it not existing. That will always be true. But I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a return to form. Like, I want a fucking, like, straight off the PS2 fucking, like, Armored Core 3 or Last Raven style fucking game. Like, I gotta say, I like the way Silent Line did most of the stuff in Armored Core. Silent Line's really fucking good. It's just a pretty good damn slice of the series. Oh, are there more of these than there were last time? That's kind of cool. I only remembered there being 2 last time. Where the fuck am I being shot from? You. I wanted to get rid of all those jobber characters first. I'm not sure why this one has so much more armor than the rest of them do. It's a little strange. Okay, I don't like how the sword will sometimes just not do the one.
Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
Also, while I like the return thematically, I'm not entirely fucking amazed with the return of the fucking helicopter gunship fights from fucking 5 and Verdict Day, because those fights kind of sucked in that game too. It was really, could you just out DPS them? Because they were spongy as fuck, and they were like not that interesting of a fight. It was kind of what I'm doing now, just sort of hover at them and hope that you don't get hit by whatever giant ass fucking weapon they had. And they would be shit camera angles. Like, it's cool because I'm glad they're not just fucking forgetting the shit existed like they did with a lot of stuff in DS2 when DS3 came out. But while I like, okay, I feel the way about this game that I kind of feel the way about DS3. It's really fast paced and fucking got a lot of cool stuff. They brought back a lot of stuff. And they brought back other stuff, but integrated it pretty badly. The camera sucks, and it's completely missing the point on some of the old game stuff that it's bringing back. This game and Dark Souls 3 are actually pretty similar, now that I think about it. But yeah, I like Dark Souls 3. It is not my favorite Souls game. And I like this, but it's also not my favorite Armored Core game. Not even close. This is good, though. If I sound bitter, it's because I'm a bitter person, but I do actually like this quite a bit. I just, having been able to play more of it, it's alright. I'd probably put it around the same place as 4 Answer. Maybe a little bit higher because it has more mechanical complexity, but 4 Answer has a better arrangement of parts. Yeah, these have fancy animations, but most of the guns don't actually behave all that differently from one another. Which sucks. Like, there's not a lot of actual, like, complexity to the builds in this.
No new messages.
Raven, the city's defense systems were still in operation after...
I also don't like how the game, part of my problem I had with fucking 5 was that the game forced you into close range encounters a lot of the time, despite the fact that the mechs staggered really easily and didn't have a lot of health. But at least that game was like, you only had to worry mostly about a horizontal fucking attitude, and the game was still built around that core mechanic. Whereas this feels like it's forcing me into close range encounters in situations when I feel like I should have other options, which kind of sucks. It's like, there's no functional difference between, like, most of these guns, and that's kind of annoying. It's like, there's no real difference between any of these grenade launchers. They're all just slightly heavier than one another with different ammo counts. Like, I appreciate this weapon a lot. I don't use it, but its existence is really cool, because it's a classic weapon with a new take on it, because it also has that melee attack. See, that's good. That's cool. But it's like, most of the other stuff, it's like, they're all just mostly the same weapons. It's like, do you want the fucking 4 missiles that behave exactly the same way, and for some reason only will lock on correctly with this one ACS? Okay, the fact that there's only the one ACS with the high missile compatibility kind of pisses me off. It's like the spread on those fucking statistics is really bad.
Here's the briefing from my CO, who came up with the plan. This is V2 Snail.
It reminds me a lot of the way the ACSs were in 5 and Verdict Day, where it's like, you would always just pick the one that had the longest lock-on range, because it having a fucking lesser close-range lock-on didn't actually inhibit you, because your guns would aim at the center of the screen, so you could just fire them anyway. It wouldn't affect accuracy at all if you were using, like, automatic weapons, so it didn't matter, and you just picked the one with the longest lock-on, so you could shoot shit that was far away. Like, there was never any reason to not use it. Whereas in this game, since the melee weapons actually have lunges, sort of, it's determined by your booster, not the weapon this time. There's an actual reason to use the close range thing, but the problem is, there aren't a lot of good mid-range ones other than this one part that has the high missile lock potential. I gotta say, I think this is a situation where Daemon X Machina probably did it better.
I'll come support you when I finish on my end.
Because this having come out after Daemon X Machina came out in between the Armored Core Verdict Day and now, feels like it took some inspiration from that and how your mech performs. Because that game also does not have shoulder weapons. It has the back-mounted parts that can be used at the same time as your current system, and it took the bay switching mechanic from Verdict Day and 5, instead of having bay parts be in your legs and only come when you purge your primary weapons, which, I'll be honest, I actually prefer the purging system from the old games over the current one, where you switch, you take it off your back. What I actually would like is if, you could fucking, have the fucking, like, internal bay weapons and the back-mounted parts if you wanted to sacrifice a weapon on your back. But you didn't have to have your bay weapons be back-mounted parts if you wanted to store, like, a handgun or an extra blade. Because what I would do on fucking normal-style mechs is I would have my fucking, I'd have a handgun and a laser sword in my fucking bay weapons. So that if I was using, like, bazookas or shotguns or something with a low ammo capacity, I would usually actually do this on mechs with sniper rifles, where if my fucking sniper rifle ran out, I would still have a high-power handgun and a fucking energy sword that I could switch to, and I would still be decent at medium range. But in this game, if I wanted to do that, I wouldn't be able to have a fucking back-mounted part, which kind of sucks. It's like, the AC fucking loadout is very similar to Daemon X Machina in this game. But that game, I still think did its fucking, a lot of its goddamn, because that game lets you snipe, and it also lets you fucking, engage from whatever range you want. Also, it had physical shields. Something that was in 5 in Verdict Day that I was kind of expecting to be in here also. The physical shield that just blocks any damage that fucking connects with its model. But the shield has a health bar and will break if it takes too much fire. I was 100% expecting that to be here when I saw the fucking, EN shields come back. EN shields used to be an arm-mounted part, like your fucking sword. It used to be totally viable that you would have an arm-mounted sword and a fucking, arm-mounted shield, and it was literally called the parrying shield. That was back when the pile bunkers were called parrying blades, and they were meant to be used for when a fucking AC tries to stab you, you retaliate by using your parrying blade to counter it before it hits you, or at the very least trade damage. That's not really a thing anymore. It's like, I guess you could use the pile bunker like that, but it wouldn't really work. Hey, like the Joshua O'Brien. Anyway, I'm bitter because I'm an idealist who wants everything. Or rather, I'm selfish. That's weird. And I kind of want everything just a little bit. Where are the log hunts in this? Oh, shit.
Code 5, target for termination approaching. Handle it. The main squad will be here soon.
Company 621, in front of the base.
Ooh, shit.
Warships incoming.
This is the Planetary Closure Administration. Disengage your weapons and surrender now. Resistance will be met with immediate termination.
Oh, did I miss my chance for resupply? Shit, I thought I could fucking fight those guys and then come back. Damn it. Anyway, I'm complaining a lot. I'll try to stop, but I complain because I love Armored Core. How about that? Armored Core defines a pretty sizable chunk of my fucking identity, given I've been playing it literally my entire fucking life.
Code 1-5. Target for termination sighted. Time to pay the piper.
Like, I don't even care that much about Gundam. I like IBO, and I watched some of the older series, but
Looks like we've got high-ranking
Gundam doesn't actually interest me all that much. Armored Core, though, fuck.
Sorry to
I
keep
would
you
blow
waiting.
up a planet to become an Armored Core pilot in
I've
real
got your
life.
back, buddy. Hope you've got mine.
That probably doesn't say good things about me, but fuck, I would do almost anything to pilot an Armored Core.
Relaying system response.
I want to pilot an Armored Core. That's basically all I can fucking say.
Data on the mercenary is being checked for new Gundam.
Just means the corp can't afford
I also don't like how you can't heal when you're staggered, and enemies can just fucking stun lock you over and over and over again. That was not a thing in the original games. Yeah, you could get stunned, but you couldn't just get fucking, like, pinned down in place, like, forever. Usually if something happened that would fucking cause that kind of damage, it would just kill you outright. And usually you'd at least have a chance to avoid it. Or it would be coming from multiple enemies. Like if you were dumb and you got into a situation where you're fighting like 10 fucking enemies at a time. It wouldn't just be one enemy hitting you with like a normal fucking arm weapon that's just pinning you down like ridiculously.
Code 31A. System screen.
Also, even the worst medium range fucking ACS had better fucking lock on at this distance than this. In fucking 4 and 4 answer. I think there's a lot of logistical problems with this game that I don't like. Maybe that's my problem. That's the pretty big problem though, because Armored Core is mostly logistics. I think that's another one of my things. Armored Core in the previous games was very rarely about split-second reflexes and more about fucking planning and tactics. Tactics and speed are not the same thing. Speed can be involved in tactics, but how quickly you can fucking respond to fucking stuff was never, like, the most important part of Armored Core. If you were a super good player who could bunny hop all over the fucking place with bumper controls, yeah, it helped a lot, but it wasn't necessary to complete the games. Whereas I feel like a lot of this game requires, like, twitch reflexes that either my fingers or the controller are not spec'd for.
I'm picking up something.
And it's a little irritating.
I've sent you a marker. There's something there.
I have the same complaint about fucking Elden Ring in regards to, like, Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 are basically perfectly paced for me, combat-wise. I have no problems with the pacing aside from some fucking... There's always some bullshit in fucking Dark Souls that's just... Yeah, it's a bit much. Like the Archers of Anor Londo or other stuff. But, fucking, like... Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring especially. Like, Sekiro and Bloodborne are not strictly the same thing, but they also have bullshit. I think someone talked about how the fucking lead up to Ludwig's charge in Bloodborne is like 12 seconds and comes from a fucking idle stance that can go into 2 different attacks depending on the distance he is from you. And the because the startup is the same, identifying which one he's going to do is almost impossible, and both of them I think are instant kills if they hit you. And 12 frames is faster than the human eye can detect, if I remember correctly. And just how fucking, like, asinine that is from a player perspective. It's like, yeah, you can summon the hunter to help you if you have enough insight. Insight not being a farmable item in Bloodborne. At least not when the fucking thing was there. It's just like, there's tons of shit like that, where it's like, I would call it arcade mechanics, in such that if it were in an arcade game, it's something that's designed to squeeze quarters at you, or out of you, once you get to a certain point in the game.
Looks like the PC
I don't even want the games to be easy, I just want it to not require stuff that is literally faster than my body can actually react to it at its peak. There's a reason I don't play competitive fighting games anymore. Like, it's the same issue I would have with fucking Mortal Kombat 9's story mode, or Dead or Alive 4's final boss, or like any of those things, where it's just like, you didn't need to make it like this. Like, I feel like once it goes past the point of being challenging into being just like, I'm not enjoying this in any degree, is probably the point. It's like, I like fighting bosses in Dark Souls, but there are a handful where it's just like, I have zero enjoyment from fighting them. The Four Kings, for example, really cool fucking boss thematically. Like, I hate fighting it every single time I play that fucking game over, and it's usually the thing that makes me not want to replay it. Fucking very often. Fucking, what else? The final mission of Armored Core 1 is complete bullshit, and when I replay Armored Core 1, I frequently just don't do the final mission in my playthroughs, because it sucks to play. There's tons of missions like that in Armored Core, where it's just like, this game would be perfect if not for this one mission.
2 new messages.
I would say the final boss of 5, but you can one-hit kill that with override weapons, and
Heard the news, tourists.
I feel like it got patched at one point, but I think now because the fucking servers are offline, that patch no longer exists, so I think it might be back to being, like, infuriating. I can't remember. I remember, like, after that game came out, it got patched to be, like, a little bit more fair or something. Like, maybe it took more damage or it moved slightly slower. I don't remember. Because I remember someone talking about how it got patched. And maybe it was they made the rave not track so harshly. Because I remember I played Armored Core 5 right when it came out, and I remember getting to the final boss, and that rave would hit me every single time if there was not a building in between me and the fucking boss. Which made it like the entire boss fight would take place in between these two buildings, and it sucked to play. I remember Jay being really, really hard in fucking Verdict Day, and then at just some point he got super weak to fucking kinetic rifles or something. Because then I remember just taking a lightweight with 2 rifles and fucking missiles, and all of a sudden he was super easy to beat for some reason. I don't know. FromSoft has a weird history with balance. I mean, they rebalanced every single fucking thing in Dark Souls 3 in a patch that came out, like, what, 3 years after the... It came out, like, a little... Like, I want to say a year before Elden Ring came out, maybe? Or maybe... It was after Dark Souls Remastered, and... It was definitely after the final DLC for Dark Souls 3. Because the final DLC for Dark Souls 3 was 2018, right? I want to say it was like 2020 or 2021 that the patch came out. That's just like, hey, we rebalanced everything and the Great Sword is now usable. It's like, okay, cool, weird. All my fucking goddamn characters are fucked up now, though, and Frayed Scythe sucks. What was I feel like I've gotten really distracted, talking about how FromSoft is terrible at balancing their games. And I mean that completely honestly. FromSoft is bad at balancing their games. Just really fucking bad. And that sucks. Genuinely. This is the new mission. I want to do this one. I kind of don't like either of those 2 other missions.
We've received a request from the Rubicon Liberation Front. Here's the briefing.
That bottom one is clearly supposed to be similar to some of the older missions, but it's just not very good. It's not interesting either. I will say, the story in this game is not nearly as interesting as a lot of the others. It's got shades of Silent Line, it's got shades of fucking Armored Core 2, it's got a little bit of fucking, I was gonna say Master of the Arena, but not actually. A little bit of Last Raven. It's got bits of 4 and fucking Verdict Day and 5, obviously. especially in terms of like gameplay mechanics. Oh great, this again.
You'll need to be ready to take on both nations at once. Master Crown and Umberox.
Are these Balaam or Aquabus? Arquebus. I still hate that word.
I hope we can count on you.
But the story in this game's kind of weak. Like, don't get me wrong, For Answer's story is not great. It is very, very fucking plain. And it's, like, don't get me wrong, I like the characters, I like For Answer's story, and its story serves the gameplay. And it is, I would say, locationally interesting. Because I like the idea of the fucking barren earth and the cradles and all the other stuff, and that's cool. I think 4's is better. I think for being a straightforward and plain story, 4's I found to be more... I had less issues with 4's story than I did with 4 Answers, because a lot of 4 Answers' story is contradictory and nonsensical. I have the same problems with Halo 3, actually. I love Halo 3 to death, but good god, its story is just not great. I mean, for fuck's sake, nothing really happens in... Halo 3's story is the fucking humans run away, and then they attack, and then we go to the Ark, and then the story is over, essentially. The Halo 3's story is just one big battle in which we are fighting with no actual, like, narrative events occurring within it, which kind of sucks. Compare Halo 3's story to Halo 2's story. There's just a lot more of it in Halo 2. Say what you want about Halo 2's gameplay, it has tons and tons of problems. But I really, really like Halo 2. Like, I played hundreds of hours of Halo 2. To be fair, I did also play hundreds of hours of Halo 3, but I played hundreds of hours of Halo 3's multiplayer more than I played hundreds of hours of Halo 3's campaign. Fuck, damn.
This pilot's no Raven. Don't let the call
Yeah, it's a classic fucking AC design. But 1 and 4 would be Stiletto. Damn. Also, I feel like your AI companions are not nearly as interesting or helpful in this game. Like, I'm getting bodied by ACs in this game the way I would get bodied by ACs in Demon Souls. Or not DC, sorry. NPCs in Demon Souls. Where it's like, the average NPC character in Demon Souls was like 10 times stronger than the hardest boss in that game. The hardest boss being King Allant, who, aside from the fact that he hits in front of his model and he can take levels off your character, is not a particularly tough boss. No. Any NPC fight in Demon Souls is 1,000 times harder than any boss, which, for the most part, used to be the case in Armored Core as well, where you'd play a mission and the mission would be fine, and then you fucking get to the end and it might have a boss. But if you were to fight an AC in the middle of that fight, like, I'm remembering the one where in fucking, I want to say it was Armored Core 1, but I might be wrong. Maybe it was 2, where you go into that base and there's all the tripwires in the hallway, and you have to shut down computer terminals, and on the way out you fight an AC. If it weren't for that AC, that mission would be no problem. But because that AC exists, that mission is hard as shit. I wonder if you would be easier. I feel like the fucking, like, let's be honest, in 4 and 4 Answer, the basic MTs are made out of tissue paper. But I still feel like they were stronger than this.
You know our priorities, Chartreuse. Let me deal with this.
Maybe a break. That bossy attitude of yours doesn't do you any favors.
This is more of a challenge than I'd anticipated. I haven't seen anything like this since... Together, Chartreuse.
You don't know when to quit.
Like, in older Armored Core games, you usually get a partner for multi-AC fights, except for there are some bullshit ones in fucking... Is it the one where you go into the mission underground after you destroy the Death Star thing in Armored Core 1? Where, you go in, you kill some MTs, you come out and you get ambushed by 2 ACs, if I remember correctly.
What about the mission?
We've achieved our objective.
I don't know. I still think my favorite 4-on-1 fight is March au Supplice in 4. It's not the most, like, mechanically interesting fight in the world, but I like the enemy builds, I like the location, I like the dialogue and the characters. I feel like it's a really interesting fight. Whereas, I don't feel the same way about a lot of fights in, fucking some of the other games. Also, is it just me, or is the boost charge in this game not as good as the one in 5? I know it's determined by weight. I know that absolutely. Fucking, it's always been determined by weight. But I feel like it's not as good as it used to be. I mean, for fuck's sake, a tank legs fucking charge in the old game used to be an insta-kill on fucking smaller mechs.
Priority, Chartreuse. Let me deal with this.
That bossy attitude.
You're strong.
Anyway, what was I doing?
King, pull your head out of your ass and withdraw.
I also noticed a lot of the time the ACs are not dying. They're doing the thing like that. It's one of my pet peeves with Daemon X Machina, actually, is that mechs in Daemon X Machina don't die when you break them. The pilots just eject and you fucking fight them later. Spoilers for Daemon X Machina, have you not played it already. There are tons of characters in that game that are functionally immortal. All of the characters from the fucking one team have this tower that revives them, and they have a very Dark Souls-esque getting rid of their immortality side quest. Abyss and Heaven are fucking zombies, and there are a lot of other— oh, cool.
Your imposter must be an impressive pilot to take on the two of them at once.
Oh, new paint job. I didn't realize there was red on that map.
Let's see how far they can fly. On borrowed wings.
Is that the same line, or did they re-record it with different inflection? Because it sounds like the same soundbite. I don't like— also—
AC Umbrocks destroyed.
the,
Take it from here, Chartreuse.
it fucking— that person coming in right when I was in the middle of killing that other guy. If anything, you're the faker.
Raven is a symbol of resolve. The will to choose what one fights for. Yes, Raven, I feel it too. This mercenary has potential.
There we go.
Raven, we can still.
Now, is that the pilot dying when she's talking to him? Because, oh, in case you didn't know, the person who's talking to me right now is not the person piloting the mech. It's another situation with White Glint, where people thought Fiona was the pilot because of the way Atsdarva talks to them. It's stupid and complicated, but don't worry about it. Also, this guy's totally like the protagonist of an Armored Core game that doesn't exist. Like, if there was a game that happened before this game, he would have been the character you were playing as. I think I'm done complaining about Armored Core for right now. Sorry. Also, I got 9 Ball's head. That's, I believe, called the Spider Eye in Armored Core 3, if I remember correctly. I kind of want to make 9 Ball.
New messages.
the independent mercenaries who attacked you. It appears they don't have a fixed membership. Instead, they maintain independence and anonymity with a revolving door of select mercenaries. Now, it seems they've left it to you to champion the free will they stood for. Sooner or later, you'll have to make a choice no one can make for you. When that time comes, I hope I can support you. Raven.
The all-mind mech that's in this game is basically just 9-ball. Although he's using the fucking Armored Core 3 style 9-ball head instead of the fucking Armored Core 1 style head. Because 9-ball's design in Ninebreaker is not the same as it was in the first game. He's like a big heavyweight mech in that game, and it's weird.
Raven, I have a personal request to ask you. It's about the Angerbret Tunnel, which is to be shut down after it was hit.
Oh, I noticed that I didn't actually get to play the tunnel sabotage mission in this one. Weird. I know I probably missed tons of parts. You can scream at me later if you want.
It's an old structure.
I'll be getting them back, or I'll be going and getting them after I finish New Game Plus 2 or 3 or whatever the fuck it is. So that I am able to get all the parts. I'll look at a guide, but I don't want to be spoiled on all the missions. I do kind of wish you got your override weapons after just killing the fucking bosses like you did in 5. Like, the fact that, like, you kill a boss that's using the override weapon, and then you get the override weapon because you literally took it off of them. Like, when you destroy Vengeance, you get the fucking Grind Blade. I think that's a perfect way to do it. It's not like Verdict Day where you kill Jay and it just gives you all 5 of them. I always thought that was a little irritating.
I've taken a few liberties. Walter thinks you've gone on a geological survey. Thank you for doing this for me, Raven.
Main system activating combat mode.
Let's get started, Raven. I've already located several wrecks that we should be able to recover data from.
I'm wondering if there's going to be a twist to this one. Maybe. Okay, those weird crab things too, huh? Ah.
PCA craft data.
It's such a pitiful amount of money.
Send them to you later.
Jeez.
Coral is able to conduct data and can influence digital equipment. The effects of the coral surge must have brought some
Where did those
effects back
fucking
online.
drone things come from
Let's see what we
anyway?
can find.
That's weird.
This data seems valuable too. I'm so glad this is turning into a profitable mission. Let's keep an older generation of AC.
Yeah, you say that.
According to the timestamp, this was recorded 2 days before the fires of Ibis. This seems to be about the warning signs of the calamity, right before it struck.
Oh, I thought there would have been something over here.
admiration for its ideological leader.
But not the
This
actual leader, which is
appears
more
to be
important.
Something exceptionally personal. Inspecting data. It's a schematic for an SG craft. This data sheds some light on the composition of the enforcement squads. Another old research institute, I see. This is about the first augmented humans.
I do not care even a
The
little
same
bit.
coral technology that created you. But without it, we never would have made contact. I'm not picking up any more data stores. If this outing has made you think about Rubicon's past or the nature of coral,
Nope.
then it was all worth it.
I do not care even a little bit. In fact, I'm less interested than before. Again, this game's story's not great. People would argue that most of Armored Core's, like, narrative impact comes from moments, like, specifically a lot of character interactions, or set pieces, or, like, specific parts and missions. I don't entirely agree with that, but I will agree that it is a large portion of it. But, like, the old games had good stories. They had some really stupid moments in them, but the overall stories were pretty solid.
Mercenary now. Time to act like one.
There were a lot of nonsensical betrayals, though,
Just
where
get
characters
some
would
rest.
betray you and each other for what appears to be no reason. Like, why did Leos Klein kill all of his supporters for, again, what appears to be no reason? It's weird.
I'll cut to the chase. This is about the ice worm. That Institute relic you had a run-in with. The corpse might stand a chance if it were just the PCA they were teaming up against. But that monster is a whole other story. You can't just throw bodies at it. The thing that makes it such a pain in the ass is its perpetual reactive shield. Coral tech. Takes advantage of the coral's directivity. Ordinary weapons can't touch it. So let's get extraordinary. I can make you something that'll punch a hole in that shield. But I'll need your help. You'll be heading to Grid 012, one of the first sectors they built, and it's barely holding up. That's where a little rat who betrayed RAD is hiding out. Goes by the name of Honest Brute. His AC Milktooth was built by us, so its only flaw is that it's piloted by him. When he ran from RAD, he didn't just take credits in tech. He also took a secret project of mine. And that secret project is what we'll need to bust open the ice worm shield. You ready for this, tourist? No one's gonna miss Brute. And we all stand to gain.
Main system activating combat mode.
Right.
All right, tourists.
I think I can go around and get the parts I didn't get last time.
It's a delight to enjoy the company of a visitor from so far away.
Brutes.
Remember correctly, there's a few.
Oh heavens.
The hell?
You're a friend of Carlos.
Those fucking things. I hate those things.
Any friend of Carlos is a friend of mine. Here's to new beginnings. By all means, be my guest.
See what I mean, tourist? We need to go deep down.
You. I really don't like those things.
That damn freak's using my toys.
Yeah, isn't there like an MC log with those or something? Like there's a combat log where you have to destroy all of them.
Make sure you keep clear of the laser sensors. They're set to activate the enemy machines.
A new friend from afar, just for me. What joy. Please still my beating heart.
Okay, there we go. That's not too bad. Over there? Those lasers, I feel like I'm having a really hard time telling their directionality. Fuck it.
AP at 50%.
Okay, I got that one. If I remember correctly, it should be over here. Huh.
I'm waiting for you, friend. Fidgeting anxiously before the big dance. I do hope I'll keep up, but the anticipation is part of the fun.
Is it over here? Yep, there it is. Is that a generator? Oh, jeez. anything yet.
The enemy's deploying a shield. You'll need to get behind it.
I hate to see my babies get snuffed like this, you know. Well, don't be shy. Smash them up. It'll help me with my R&D.
Is there anything over there I actually need to, like, get? Yeah, there is.
One repair kit remaining.
There's your way in. Brute can't be far.
We should keep an eye out for trolls. They'll be much more dangerous in tight quarters.
I already got that chest, so I don't need that again. But where's the door? I think those wires don't have hit detection.
Jump down there and we've got him cornered. Don't forget, the guy's a rat. This won't be smooth sailing.
Question, how exactly did we move this giant ass fucking gun
Is this place
over to where we fought the worm?
hangar?
Or did we just fire it from
Seems
here?
to be nearby.
I don't think there was a clean shot. Where actually is he in this room anyway?
Ah, my new friend. You're here at last.
So he's up there.
Fruits. Oh, Carla, you've introduced me to such wonderful people. Wonderful things. Silent tourist. The sweet melody of the generator. How Milky's heart sings.
Built that ace scan bar to take first.
You. Wow, fuck.
At 30%. Critical ammunition at 50%.
How Milky sleeps. How I'd offer flowers if I could find them.
Jump down there and we've got him cornered. Don't forget, the guy's a rat. This won't be smooth sailing.
Was this place some kind of hangar? The target AC must be nearby.
Ah, my new friend. You're here at last. Brute! Oh, come on. You've introduced me to such wonderful people. Wonderful things.
Get the fuck over here, you prick.
The sweet melody of the generator. How Milk's heart sings.
Built that AC at RAD, tourist. Don't underestimate it.
There we go. Fuck.
My friend, this is a gift. Thank you.
Enemy AC is silent.
Looks like he's dead. Good. All right, tourist. I'll see about retrieving our secret project. We'll need it to go worm hunting.
We got ourselves a deal, Handler Walter. Michigan. So, Arquebus met us halfway? I gave them the heavy warship fleet. In exchange, Balaam's in charge of putting down the beast. They also offered some top Vespers. Guess they don't trust us. Better than nothing. I'll provide what support I can, too. Yeah, your mad scientists, RAD or whatever, and that hound of yours. Michigan. Don't underestimate 621. That hound always delivers.
Two new messages.
This is Chatty Stick, RAD. Thanks for putting down Brute. The Chief's already in the workshop tweaking the rail cannon. And I've never seen her happier to be at work. That is all. Later, tourist. Time for work, 621. This next mission's all or nothing. Make sure you attend the briefing. Listen up, 621. This will be a joint operation led by Balaam and Arquebus. The briefing's about to start. I want you to attend. First, some background before we go into detail. coordinated attacks against the PCA. The targets are the enemy-occupied bases, the heavy warship fleet, and the recently activated...
I'll cut to the chase. This is an all-out war against the PCA and theaters across Rubicon. And y'all got the short end of the stick. You're here to take on the worst of our dirty work, hunting the beast of the ice field.
Sure thing, Chief. Tell you what, I'll watch and let you know how badly that goes for us.
Gun 5, you just volunteered yourself for the front line.
Moving on. Let's talk about how we're going to neutralize the Iceworm's coral shield. You'll be dealing with a layered barrier made up of a primary and a secondary shield.
Arquebus will provide the means to break the first layer. The state-of-the-art stun needle launcher. Aim for the face, and it will deliver results, I assure you.
What about the second layer?
RAD's cooked up just the thing. A neat little toy we call the overed rail cannon. If we divert the spaceport standby power to the ORC, it should hit hard enough, assuming we land the shot.
You can leave that to me. I know a thing or two about sharpshooting.
I'll oversee operations on the ground. A ragtag crew like this needs leadership.
We could use some more suppressive fire. I'll send Chatty.
That just leaves the question of who will be taking charge of the stun needle launcher.
I know just the volunteer to go poke that beast with a stick. Gun 13, you get all that? Good! Time for another field trip!
It's not every day you see competing forces working together like this.
Eh.
Now or never, 621.
Boundary lines don't really exist in Armored Core. You kind of just do whatever.
It's time, 621. You ready?
This mission depends upon you, Raven. Let's go. I'll give you all the support.
Main system activating combat mode.
That is some intense vibration. Oh shit, I forgot the fucking thing. God damn it.
Main system activating combat mode.
Yeah, it's a little better.
Michigan will take command.
Apparently there's some funny dialogue if you do this mission without the fucking stinger thing, but I don't want to waste time.
Move out, maggots! Time to die!
Act like a professional outfit and you might live.
Who does that creep think he is? I ain't here because I want to be.
We gotta deal with those pesky shields first. Cut 13. Roll out that fancy gizmo that Arkham paid the big bucks for.
You need to aim for the head. The rest of his body is covered in thick armor.
This is V4 Rusty. Rail cannon is good to go. Don't die before I get a chance to fire, buddy.
Tourist, got a message from the chief for you. Enjoy the show, and don't forget to smile.
Fuck's sake.
Reminder to all units, don't try to maintain space from one another.
You heard it. Don't want to make it.
Primary shield disabled.
Shield loss confirmed. Initializing ORC firing sequence. Connecting EML modules. Opening energy turbines. Output at 80%. Sighting correction A-OK. 90, 95. I won't miss.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool.
Secondary shield down.
Gun 13, the head's open for a direct hit.
That freak actually did it.
Just watch the bare minimum. This is just the first hurdle.
The target's deployed drones, tourist. I'll handle them.
Will you? Not doing a great job of that. It's gumming up my fucking radar. Or rather, my fucking reticle.
V4, load the next shell.
One step ahead of you, Commander.
Finally, someone with their head screwed on straight. Never thought about switching sides?
Sure is an honor to be praised by the Red Guns hell on 4
that a Guasu? For fuck's sake.
95%. 100%. Watch out for friendly fire.
Nice.
Secondary shield down.
It's all yours now.
Oh, for fuck. God damn it.
Fall back 6.
This lock sucks.
Underestimated this beast. My AC's compromised.
Coral, it's out of control.
Looks like things just took a nasty turn. I'll set the ORC to maximum output. We can't afford to lose control of the situation.
The enemy can lock on to me from however far away it fucking feels like.
Taking significant damage. Might be checking out soon to waste.
Primary shield is getting stronger.
Stay cool, buddy.
One repair kit remaining.
I'm out to waste. You're on your own now. Withdraw.
Primary shield down.
Good work, buddy. All EML modules connected. Energy turbines at full capacity. Output at 80, 90. All emergency valves closed. Disabling limiter. 100, 110, 115. Output. All or nothing.
Fucking cool.
Target's coral shield has been wiped out.
Is it over? Get clear, it's gonna blow!
Shit me. The freelancer really did it.
It's finally over. The blast will contaminate the area. Get out of...
Coral voices. Lost again. Raven. There's something I have to tell you. The Coral. It's my family. My brothers and sisters. I am but a single wave. Born from the Coral Tide. A Rubiconian without a body. No one even knew I was there for such a long time. Raven, you're the only one who...
Go get your rest, 621. Things are going to get busy. You did good.
temporary alliance between the Arquebus and Balaam groups turned the tide of war, devastating the Planetary Closure Administration forces and exiling them from Rubicon. Though it was the Iceworm mission led by Balaam that dealt the decisive blow, Arquebus, through their own engagements with the PCA, augmented their strength with seized weaponry. The balance of power was broken, the scales tipped in Arquebus's favor, and the Rubicon Liberation Front's hopes of fighting an exhausted foe were dashed. With the loss of their common enemy, the rival factions' war for the Coral abruptly reignited, and their bitter conflict burned with renewed intensity.
Augmented Human C4621, entering Standard Mode. 2 new messages.
Doing okay, 621? I'd wanted to let you rest some more, but the corps are on the move already. With the PCA gone, it's back to work, getting to where the Coral's gathering. Do you remember the survey you carried out at Xylem? My friend analyzed the data and learned about a massive facility under the central ice field. Watch Point Alpha. Turns out that the Iceworm was defending the entrance to that place. It's time to let ourselves in.
Raven, there's something you need to know. That friend Walter mentioned. The comms database has no record of the conversation he just told you about. This isn't about just finding the Coral, Raven. He's after something more, and he's using you to do it. Here on Rubicon.
Registration number RB23. Call sign, Raven. We have added new samples to the integration program. You may now test updates to Mind Beta and verify reproductions of special ACs. We look forward to your continued assistance in All Mind's drive toward perfection.